A world without a snooze button. A world where empires were built not on dreams, but on the brutal, relentless march of dawn. Cut to a rapid, jarring montage of modern life. A finger endlessly scrolling a glowing phone in the dark. A computer screen with 50 blinking tabs. A person staring at a blank document. The cursor pulsing like a weak heartbeat. The quiet hum of a laptop fan. Narrator, and this is the sound of your world. The silent siege of distraction. The quiet treason of later. Your ambition is a mighty fortress, but its gates are left open every single morning. Your willpower is a legion, but it's scattered, leaderless, and routed by the smallest of comforts. The montage freezes on the person staring at the blank screen. Suddenly, a hard cut back to the intense, sun-etched face of a Roman Centurion. He looks directly into the camera, his eyes conveying pure, undiluted discipline. He is not an actor, he feels like a historical artifact brought to life. Narrator, we seek motivation in quotes and productivity in apps. The Romans sought it in something far harsher. Necessitas. Necessity. For this man, the centurion, procrastination wasn't a bad habit. It was a fatal flaw. A flaw that could cost him his men, his honor, and his life. His discipline wasn't a choice he made when he felt good. It was a weapon he forged every single day, whether in the mud of Britannia or under the searing sun of Syria. The will of the centurion. 7 cruel Roman habits against procrastination. Fire. Narrator, forget your gentle morning routines. We're not here to hack your life. We are here to conquer it. These are not tips, they are orders. They are cruel because they wage war on your comfort zone. They demand sacrifice. But in return, they offer victory. Today, we excavate 7 battle-tested principles from the Roman mindset to forge an iron will and destroy procrastination at its root. Prepare yourself. The first habit alone is a declaration of war on modern weakness, and it begins before the sun has even risen. Habit number 1, prima luce. Nullae excusationes asterisk. At first light, no excuses. The screen is filled with the pre-dawn light hitting a Roman military camp. Soldiers are already moving with purpose, sharpening gladi, donning armor, tending to fires. There is no wasted movement. The centurion watches over them, his silhouette framed against the rising sun. Narrator, the centurion didn't have a morning mindset, he had a duty. While you negotiate with your alarm clock, his legion was already a living weapon, ready to be aimed at the heart of an enemy. His day began with action, not intention. Your order is this: before your feet touch the floor, you will decide on the one critical task, the primum officium asterisk, the first duty, that will advance your campaign. This is your beachhead for the day. You will engage this task for 1 solid, uninterrupted hour before the noise of the world, email, news, social media, is allowed past your defenses. You do not check your phone. The world can wait. Your victory cannot. Habit number 2, unis hostis. Unis ictus. 1 enemy, 1 strike. Visual. A legionary in a chaotic battle. He ignores the arrows flying past, the screams of the dying. His eyes are locked on the single enemy directly in front of him. He thrusts his gladius with singular, lethal focus. Cut to a modern desk, a hand flitting between a keyboard, a buzzing phone, and a cup of coffee. The person accomplishes nothing. Narrator, your world glorifies the art of fighting on 100 fronts at once. It calls it multitasking. The Romans had a word for it: defeat. A legion that divides its attention is a legion that is flanked and destroyed. The same is true of your will. When you sit down to work, you face not 1 enemy, but a horde. The tab with the funny video. The email that can wait. The sudden urge to research a triviality. Each one is a small barbarian, chipping away at the shield wall of your focus. The centurion's order is absolute. Define your single objective. Is it to write 1,000 words, to complete the financial report, to plan the project? That is your enemy for the next block of time. Write it down on a piece of paper, a physical declaration of war. That is the only thing that exists. Slay it. Then, and only then, may you look up and choose your next opponent. Habit number 3, contemptus rerum. Contempt for comfort. Visual. Slow motion shot of a legionary's worn hands wringing out a wet wool cloak in the pouring rain. He shows no emotion, just stoic endurance. Cut to a modern person complaining as they wait for their latte in a climate-controlled cafe. Narrator: we have engineered a world to eliminate all friction. We are kings of cushioned chairs, instant gratification, and perfect temperatures. And it has made us soft. Pathetically soft. Your body craves ease, and your mind follows, surrendering your ambition for the cheap bribe of a momentary pleasure. The Roman understood that true strength is forged not in comfort, but in controlled, voluntary hardship. The Stoic philosopher Seneca would practice poverty, eating stale bread and sleeping on the floor, to train his mind to be independent of fortune. The legionary marched 20 miles a day in 60 pounds of gear, not because it was pleasant, but because it made the strain of battle feel like a relief. Your order: inject one small, deliberate act of hardship into your day. Take a cold shower. Work out until you truly fail. Skip a meal and feel the pang of real hunger. This is not self-punishment. It is an inoculation. You are teaching your mind, on a primal level, that you are the master of your body, not the other way around. You are proving to yourself that your will is stronger than your fleeting desires. Habit number 4, Aquili Standardum. The standard of the eagle. Narrator: for the modern procrastinator, failure is a private, quiet affair. No one knows you broke the promise to yourself. There is no consequence beyond a vague sense of self-disgust. It is a death by 1,000 lonely compromises. For a Roman legion, failure was public, catastrophic, and unthinkable. The greatest shame was the loss of its eagle standard, the Aquila. It was the soul of the legion. Legions would be disbanded in disgrace. Survivors would be decimated, 1 in every 10 men killed by their own comrades, to pay the price for their cowardice. Your ambition lacks an eagle. It has no standard to rally behind, no symbol whose loss would be an unbearable shame. Your order is to create one. Make your commitment public. Tell a friend, a mentor, or a rival the specific thing you will accomplish and by when. Post it online. Create a consequence so sharp that the thought of failure is more painful than the effort of execution. Attach your honor to the task. You are not just working on a project, you are defending the eagle. Habit number 5, Acta, non verba. Deeds, not words. Visual: a Roman architect, his hands covered in dust, pointing at a half-finished aqueduct. He is not in a meeting room, he is in the field, with the stone and the sweat. Cut to a modern corporate meeting. People talk in circles, using jargon, while a PowerPoint slide titled Synergistic Roadmap glows behind them. Narrator: you live in a world of words. You talk about what you're going to do. You plan to plan. You strategize about strategies. Your calendar is filled with meetings to discuss the work, rather than the work itself. The Roman Empire wasn't built on mission statements. It was built on roads, bridges, and walls. It was built by men who measured their days in stones laid, ditches dug, and territory conquered. The architect Vitruvius didn't just theorize. His 10 books on architecture are a manual born from calloused hands. The centurion didn't workshop leadership, he led from the front line. Your order: for every hour you spend talking about the work, you will spend 3 hours doing the work. Track your time with brutal honesty. See the ratio of verba to acta, of words to deeds. Your goal is to make your words a mere shadow of your colossal actions. When in doubt, shut your mouth and move the stone. Habit number 6, premeditatio malorum asterisk. The premeditation of evils. Visual: a close-up on the centurion's face, the night before a battle. His eyes are closed. He's not sleeping, he is visualizing the chaos to come, the clash of steel, the potential for his line to break, the pain of a wound. He is walking through disaster in his mind. Narrator: your procrastination is often rooted in a fragile optimism. You assume the path will be easy, that you'll be motivated, that nothing will go wrong. And when the first obstacle appears, a technical glitch, a difficult paragraph, a moment of fatigue, your will shatters like glass, because it was never tempered for impact. The Stoics, the spiritual bedrock of the Roman elite, practiced a darker art. Premeditatio malorum. They would sit, and vividly imagine everything that could go wrong: their supply lines cut, their siege engines failing, their own death. This wasn't pessimism, it was preparation. By visiting disaster in their minds, they stripped it of its power to surprise and paralyze them. Your order: before you begin a great task, spend 5 minutes contemplating the enemy's moves. What will trip you up? Distraction? Fatigue? Self-doubt? The difficulty of the task itself. Visualize it. Feel the frustration. And then, write down your counter move for each. When I feel tired, I will stand and work for 10 minutes. When I am distracted by the internet, I will disconnect the Wi-Fi. You will meet the inevitable chaos of reality, not with surprise, but with a battle-tested plan. Habit number 7, memento finis. Remember the end. Visual: a slow pan across a Roman graveyard. Weathered stone tombs inscribed with the names and deeds of the dead. The visuals then shift to the centurion, now an old man, looking out over a peaceful vineyard he has earned. His hands, scarred and gnarled, hold a single grape. He is at peace. Narrator: why endure all this? Why the cold showers, the pre-dawn starts, the singular focus? Because the Roman was acutely aware of two things: that his time was finite, and that his legacy was eternal. Every day was a chance to build the monument of his life, one disciplined action at a time. The alternative was to be forgotten, to fade away like a footprint in the sand. You procrastinate because you act as if you have 1,000 years to live. You trade your finite, precious hours for infinite, cheap distractions. You are building a monument to nothing. Your final order is the simplest and the cruelest. At the end of each day, you will take out a journal and answer one question: did my actions today build the monument? Or did they dig the grave? Did you forge your legacy? Or did you merely pass the time? Be brutally honest. Let the sting of that truth be your fuel for the dawn. The percussive music swells. We see a montage of a modern person applying the habits: waking up without a snooze, working with intense focus, taking a cold shower, speaking with conviction, and finally, writing in their journal. Their face is no longer one of despair, but of hard-won clarity and strength. Narrator: these are the habits of the centurion. They are not easy, they are not kind. They are a declaration of war on the person you are, in service of the person you were born to be. The choice is yours: the quiet decay of comfort, or the glorious hardship of the conqueror. Now, go. The sun is rising, and there are no excuses. A black screen, a single, sharp clang of a hammer on an anvil echoes. Another clang. Light reveals a Roman blacksmith, his face slick with sweat, hammering a glowing piece of iron into the shape of a gladius. Sparks fly in slow motion. Narrator: you have the orders. But orders are not enough. An order is a map. Now, we must forge the steel to walk the path. We must sharpen the weapons you have been given. The armory advanced doctrines for the will. Narrator: we return to the forge. Let us examine 3 of your orders with the eye of a master strategist. For it is in the refinement of these tactics that the amateur becomes the veteran. Doctrine 1: reinforcing contempt for comfort. Narrator: you have felt the shock of the cold water. You have known the brief protest of your stomach. This is the training of the recruit. Now, you must learn the discipline of the master. Learn from Cato, a man so committed to the destruction of his own weakness that he became a living weapon against the decadence of Rome. He walked barefoot on the hot stones of the Forum. He wore the darkest, cheapest wool, not because he was poor, but to remind his body who was in command. He would go thirsty in the summer heat, training his tongue not to beg for what it did not need. This was not a wellness challenge. This was a strategic assault on the inner traitor, the part of you that whispers for comfort, for ease, for the path of least resistance. That traitor is the scout for the army of procrastination. Your advanced order is the Cato Protocol. Once a week, you will choose one major comfort and utterly refuse it for the entire day, not just for a moment. For the duration. Do you rely on caffeine to start your day? You will drink only water. Does music help you focus? You will work in total silence. Do you love the hot shower that melts away your stress? You will take only the coldest, shortest one. The goal is not suffering. The goal is proof. The undeniable, cellular proof that your will, not your fleeting desire, sits on the throne. You are teaching your mind that I want is a suggestion, not a command. Doctrine 2. Mastering the premeditation of evils. Visual. An animated map showing the siege of Alesia. We see Julius Caesar's brilliant and seemingly paranoid double fortification, one wall facing inward to trap the Gauls, and another facing outward to repel reinforcements. It is a physical monument to anticipating disaster. Narrator, you have learned to anticipate your own weakness. Now, you must learn to anticipate the chaos of the world. Your 5-minute visualization is a scout's report. What the centurion needed was a full campaign strategy against misfortune. Look at Caesar at Alesia. He didn't just plan for victory. He planned for a victory so complete that it accounted for a second enemy army arriving to attack him from behind. His premeditatio malorum was not a mental exercise. It was 10 miles of ditches, ramparts, and watchtowers. He built a solution to a problem that did not yet exist. Your procrastination is often a failure of imagination. You plan for the best-case scenario. You map the straight, easy road, and when the first landslide hits, a corrupted file, an unexpected request, a creative block, you are routed, because you stand on open ground. Your advanced order is the siege wall. For any task that will take more than a day, you will not merely list what might go wrong. You will write a triumvirate of ruin, the 3 most likely disasters to threaten your campaign. 1. The enemy within. My focus will break after 2 hours. 2. The sabotage of others. A colleague will interrupt with an urgent request. 3. The treachery of tools. The software will crash or the internet will fail. Next to each, you will write a contingency edict, a pre-decided, automatic response. If my focus breaks, I will rise, perform 20 push-ups, and return to the task. If a colleague interrupts, I will state, I am defending the Eagle until noon. I can address this then. If the software crashes, I have a plain text version saved, and I will continue there. You will no longer be surprised by reality. You will have built fortifications against it. Doctrine 3. Weaponizing deeds, not words. Visual. A Roman aqueduct, the Pont du Gard, stands immense and eternal. The shot focuses on the sheer number of stones, each one placed by hand. Cut to a modern whiteboard covered in sticky notes, buzzwords, and arrows pointing in circles. Narrator, you have committed to a 3-to-1 ratio of *acta to *verba. But how do you measure a deed? The modern world has blurred the line, celebrating busyness as an achievement. Answering emails feels like action. Attending a meeting feels like action. Organizing your to-do list feels like action. This is a deception. To a Roman engineer, a deed was a stone set in a wall. It was measurable. It was permanent. It contributed directly to the structure. Much of what you call work is merely shifting sand. Your advanced order is the legionary's standard. You will define a concrete, physical, or digital unit of progress for your most important task. This is your stone if you are a writer. Your stone is not time spent writing, it is 500 words written if you are a coder. It is not working on the feature, it is one function committed and pushed if you are a designer. It is not exploring concepts, it is one wireframe completed. At the end of the day, you will count your stones. 5 stones laid. 10 stones. 1 stone. Or 0. This is the brutal, honest arithmetic of achievement. It strips away all illusion of effort and reveals the stark reality of your output. You cannot argue with the wall that you did, or did not, build. The camera returns to the centurion. He now holds the newly forged gladius. He tests its edge with his thumb, his gaze intense and focused. He gives a slight, satisfied nod. Narrator, these are not new habits. They are the sharpening of the old ones. They are the difference between a conscript and a centurion, between a man who knows the rules of war, and a man who has made them his very flesh and blood. The fortress of your ambition is now reinforced. The legion of your will is now armed with finer steel. The battle for your day awaits. Narrator, do not keep it waiting. The sound of the cornu fades, replaced by the low crackle of a campfire and the distant sounds of a Roman camp at night. The Centurion is now seen by the fire, sharpening his pugio, a dagger, with a whetstone. The movement is methodical, patient, relentless. Narrator, the war horn has sounded. The weapons are sharp. But a single day's victory means nothing. A campaign is not won in a glorious charge, it is won in the endless, grinding, unglamorous march that follows. Procrastination is not an army you defeat once, it is a barbarian insurgency. It raids your borders when you are tired. It sows dissent in your ranks when you are comfortable. It waits for you to lower your guard. To endure the long war, you need more than weapons. You need a campaign doctrine. The Long March, Sustaining the Unconquerable Will. Narrator, 3 final edicts for the lifelong campaign, not for winning the day, but for winning the war. Edict 1, the Fabian Strategy Against Defeat. Visual, an animated map showing Hannibal's seemingly unstoppable army in Italy. A second, smaller Roman army, marked with the name Fabius, refuses to engage directly, instead shadowing, harassing, and cutting off supplies. Cut to a modern person, having failed their morning task, slumping onto a couch and doom-scrolling, surrendering the rest of the day. Narrator, you will have days where the barbarian breaks your lines. You will sleep through the dawn. You will surrender to distraction. Your primum officium will lie bleeding on the field. In that moment, your modern instinct is to declare the entire day a loss, a total rout. You retreat into the familiar comfort of failure. This is the thinking of a fool. Learn from Quintus Fabius Maximus. Tasked with defeating the military genius Hannibal, he did the unthinkable. He refused to fight. He shadowed the enemy, launched small raids, burned their supply lines, and bled them dry, mile by agonizing mile. He was mocked, called the delayer, but his strategy saved Rome. He understood that you do not have to win a glorious victory to avoid a catastrophic defeat. Your order is the Fabian Edict. When you have lost the morning battle, you will not surrender the day. Your new objective is not total victory, but to deny the enemy a complete triumph. You will execute a strategic harassment. Did you fail to write your chapter? Go and organize your research notes for 30 minutes. Did you skip your workout? Go for a 10-minute walk. Did you waste 3 hours on nonsense? Spend the next 15 minutes planning your campaign for tomorrow with absolute clarity. You will salvage one small, defiant piece of ground. You will remind the enemy that even on your worst day, you are still a Roman. You do not rout. Edict 2, the Decimation of the Trivial. Visual, a grim-faced centurion holds a helmet containing marked stones. A line of 10 legionaries stands before him, their faces a mask of dread. He is enacting decimation. Cut to a modern person staring at an endless digital to-do list, looking completely overwhelmed. Narrator, the insurgency of procrastination is funded by the trivial. It is an army of small, seemingly urgent tasks that feel like work but produce no forward momentum. Organize email inbox, research better productivity apps, tidy desktop. Each one is a petty chieftain demanding tribute, and you pay it with your most valuable resource, your will. The Roman response to a failure of will within a cohort was not gentle coaching. It was decimation. 1 man in 10, chosen by lot, was executed by his own comrades. A lesson of absolute, terrifying brutality in the cost of failure and the necessity of focus. We will not turn this cruelty upon ourselves, but upon the tasks that dilute our power. Your order is the decimation mandate. At the start of each week, you will write down every single task you think you need to do. All of them. Now, apply the Roman iron. For every 10 tasks on that list, you must choose one, the least consequential, and destroy it. Not delegate it. Not postpone it. You will cross it out with a finality that borders on violence. It is dead. It will not be resurrected. This act of tactical abandonment is terrifying because it forces you to admit that most of what you do does not matter, but it is liberating. It is a declaration that your campaign has a singular purpose, and you will sacrifice the trivial on the altar of the essential. Edict 3, Forging the Contubernium. During a storm, they are sharing rations, repairing gear. They are a single entity. Cut to a single person working late in a vast, empty office, looking isolated and alone. Narrator, you have made your ambition public, you have raised your eagle standard. But an eagle carried by one man is still vulnerable. The true strength of the legion was not the individual soldier, it was the contubernium *, the 8 men who shared a tent, a cooking pot, and a soul. They fought together, and they died together. A man's failure was not his own, it shamed the 7 brothers who relied upon him. Your war against procrastination has been a lonely one, this is why you fail. Your final order is the Contubernium Pact. Find 1, maybe 2, other warriors engaged in their own great campaigns. Not cheerleaders, not therapists. Warriors. Form a pact. Each morning, at Prima Luce, you will send a single message to your Contubernium declaring your primum officium. My beachhead is the financial model. My beachhead is 100 lines of clean code. At the end of the day, you will report back with one of 3 statements. 1. The eagle is secure. 2. The line is holding. 3. The line is broken. There is no room for explanation or excuse, only the cold, hard report. The shared accountability of the tent is a fortress that no single barbarian can breach. The pride of telling your brothers the eagle is secure will become a greater motivator than any fleeting comfort. The shame of reporting the line is broken will be a harsher teacher than any self-help book. The scene changes. The centurion stands before a vast, detailed map of a province, lit by oil lamps. He is not looking back at the fire. He is looking forward, at the next river to be crossed, the next fortress to be built. His expression is not of victory, but of readiness. Narrator, the habits are your armor, the doctrines are your blades. The campaign is your life. There is no final victory against weakness, for it is part of you. There is only the daily battle, the relentless march. The choice, at every sunrise, to place the dusty Caliga back on the rocky ground and advance. The war is eternal, and your duty is clear.